Samantha, you're flush, Jane muttered as she brought out her mirror and gave it to Samantha, who looked at her face through the mirror. Damn. It was really true. She was blushing badly. In fact, her face has gone all red like a tomato. How can I be blushing for Bryan of all people? Samantha thought with a frown which turned into a smile. You're blushing again, Lilly teased, and Samantha used half of her long hair to cover her face before running to the class, shyly. Some hours later. And students listen attentively because I have talked to the management and they agreed that there will be a show here in this school. Mrs. Clare cleared her throat and adjusted her glasses. Really? Which show? Am coming with my fancy gown and shoes. I will not miss this show for anything. I will put on the new pair of shoes I bought worth $5,000. And it is a music and drama competition. I will divide you all into 2 groups, and each group has a captain. Mrs. Clare added, then an idea clicked into her mind. And since we are about to choose who will be the queen bee among Samantha, David, and Nina, they will be the captain of each group. Samantha and Nina, pick the people you want to be in your group and start practicing. Remember, only 2 things, music and drama. Mrs. Clare paused. Lest I forget, the most enchanted voice and interesting drama becomes the queen bee. Good luck. Mrs. Clare adjusted her glasses and walked away. Is going to be fun. Nina will always win. No. Is time for her to step down? I wish Samantha wins. I don't know who to choose at this point. Me too. Ooh. Samantha stood up and walked to the front of the class. Like Mrs. Clare said, I should choose my team, but I don't want to force you, so I'm asking you now. Who wants to be in my team? Samantha asked. Lilly and Jane stood up and stood behind her. It was like all the students went behind Nina, while 7 to 10 students were in Samantha's team. You think that you could beat me because you're pretending to be Bryan's boyfriend? Well, for your information, there are 2 things I would never ever lose. Number 1, the school queen bee's position, and number 2, Bryan. So, stay clear. Nina rolled her eyes and sat down. Samantha ignored her and gave her team a sign to follow her. As they were about to pass the door burst open and Bryan came in with his 3 friends. Is Bryan? Is he here for his girlfriend? Stop saying Samantha is his girlfriend. Bryan is mine. Look at Jeremy, so hot. Andy and Adrian? Oopa Bryan wrapped his arms around Samantha's waist, though Samantha felt awkward. Am on your team. Bryan smirked at her while she flushed. I don't have to spell it out that we are on Samantha's team, right? Jeremy said. I guess I'm not in Nina's team again. My Oopa are in Samantha's team. Am in Samantha's team now. Bryan glared at the students who wanted to go behind Samantha, giving them a sign of, if you move another inch, you're dead. You all should follow me to the library, Samantha muttered, and the team walked all the way to the library. At the library. So, what did you think we should name the team? Samantha mumbled. Why don't we name it the Indispensable Team? Lilly giggled and I glared at her. No, the Flower Team, Jane said, and Samantha's frown got deeper. Let's just leave it as Team B for now. Samantha quickly said, before they could bring out more suggestions. Then the bell was heard for leisure time. We will have the meeting later, Samantha said, and waved at them, then they started leaving. Samantha stood up to walk away when Bryan drew her back and wrapped his arms around her waist. Bryan, people are watching, Samantha said, hiding her face. That's what I want, or did you want me to kiss you privately? Bryan smirked. Such a lovely couple. They look hot together. I envy them. I wish Bryan was mine. Did you hear that? Bryan smiled and Samantha rolled her eyes. Fake couples, Samantha scoffed, and Bryan rolled his eyes. Whatever. Bryan frowned. Am hungry. I want to eat barbecue. I want to eat barbecue, Samantha said. She really wants to eat barbecue, but the school's large canteen doesn't have it. Well, do you want to go out to buy some? Bryan asked. Yes. Let's go. Samantha grabbed his hand and began to drag him out of the library as they passed students just stared at them, admiring them. Finally, they reached the school gate and the security men standing there, seeing that it was Bryan, they opened the gate and they walked out. We could have used my car, Bryan frowned. No, I want to take a walk. By the ways is not far from here, Samantha said, as they reached where they were selling the barbecue. Samantha salivated immediately. They placed up to 20 sticks of barbecue. Are you sure you could finish that? Bryan asked with a small frown. Of course, they are my favorite. Samantha smiled as she began to eat. In just 2 minutes, she has chewed and swallowed 9 sticks. Aren't you eating? Samantha asked with her mouth full. Don't want to eat, Bryan said, and Samantha stood up and went to his chair and sat next to him. Open your mouth. Ah, Samantha muttered, and Bryan opened his mouth. Then she fed him some meat, barbecue. How does it taste? Samantha asked, giggling. And Bryan went into a flashback. Ryan! Ryan! My mom said you should follow me to buy barbecue. Little Samantha jumped happily. Let's go! Samantha grabbed his hands and dragged him out of their house. The two families were close, so they actually lived together. Bryan, you're not eating? She muttered, arching an eyebrow. Come on, eat. Are you angry? She asked again. No, I'm not. It doesn't look delicious, Bryan said. Is meat, idiot? It will be delicious. Little Samantha grabbed one, since they were sitting next to each other. She made him open his mouth, and then she fed him. End of flashback. Could it be? Bryan thought, staring at Samantha. But she is Samantha David, Bryan thought with a frown. Should I investigate? Bryan, what are you thinking? Samantha asked, and he nodded negatively. Nothing. Since I'm her tutor, I would come to her house and investigate, try to check her childhood photos or something, but if she isn't... Bryan bit his lower lips. Then they heard a crash, like someone falling down outside the window. Bryan and Samantha stood up to check who is that. And it was Andy, Adrian, Jeremy, and... What? The H-Thrill. Even Lilly and Jane was there. Was they spying on them? You never told me you were dating Bryan. I heard it from the students, so I came to see whether it's true, and then we met them. Lilly pointed at the three, and we were like, what a coincidence. And then we decided to... Wait. Calm down before you have a heart attack, Samantha said, and Lilly took a breath in. What the hell are you guys doing here, huh? Bryan yelled, frowning at his friends. Come on, can't we meet our friend again? Adrian paused and looked in. There is barbecue, and you, Bryan, wanted to eat it alone. Such a stingy fellow. Adrian added, and walked to the table where a lady was selling it. Bryan, you would pay because your account is loaded. I will just take my sticks and go back to school, so you two can continue with the feeding romance stuff, Andy added, and they all nodded. Jeremy grabbed a lot of sticks on his hands. He would pay. Bye, Jeremy said, and they all walked away, including Lilly and Jane. They are annoying, Bryan scoffed as they sat down. Samantha's face has already gone red. At an unknown place. In a dark place where there was few lights, a guy could be seen yelling at a young lady who might be at 16 to 17 years old. I told you to give Bryan the juice, but you didn't. Nyisi. He still remembers Samantha's face when she was little, he yelled. How is that my fault? The day I gave him the juice that would make him lost his memory, he refused to eat anything, nor drink anything, because he was angry that he is leaving Samantha. She said, You could have forced him. Pray to whatever you're serving that he doesn't find out. He yelled and walked away. Fuck, she cursed, glaring at the place the guy took.